Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight we're gonna speak about something that almost all of us, all the Muslim, all this generation, my generation, that are 30 or old, they have wondered how they supposed to be dealing with their kids, with the chaos that is happening nowadays in this world, and how we're gonna be able to control their behavior and teach them what is right, what is wrong. Are we going to be able to be benefiting them, succeeding in sending out the message for them to understand the importance of what we are trying to teach them? A lot of us, specifically the Muslim, we're trying to teach our kids the Islamic manners, and we want them to listen, and we will want them to hear, and we want them to practically be the best of whatever they're gonna be able to, and even they could be, better than ourselves. But now, what we are facing in this era, in this century, that we figure out that it's so harsh for us to make our children to listen to us. All what I could say, first and foremost, I want everybody to understand that I already have three children. I have three daughters. So, and the oldest, she's almost like five, or she's practically 5 years old. So I'm gonna be reflecting based on my experience. I'm gonna be reflecting based on my experience with my siblings, because when I was in my teenagers or mature, I had to have, um, siblings that they practically were still children or passing puberty or about to be mature. So, and in my family, we are raised to be close to each other, and we are raised to be open, and we discuss everything. We were not shy to discuss any type of problems or matters, and the boundaries was only whenever it's something haram. Um, Let me first and foremost tell something. We practically have a problem. Number one, the number one problem that we face with our children, that we accuse them that they don't listen to us, that we don't listen to them. And in order for us to say this, we need to put down some arrogance, some pride, some issues, some old fashioned thinking that we might have it implanted inside our mentality, our brain, our backbone, because we were never trained. We were never trained. The majority. There is exception for sure. But we were never trained in such a way that the adult or the mature people, they're supposed to listen to the children, to us. It was almost unacceptable and disrespectful that the mature people or the adult people or the elder, they supposed to listen to us. And this is a big problem, because if we are claiming that we're Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ taught us and taught the Arab and taught all the Muslim that first and foremost, that the children, they are practically a trust in their neck from now till the day of judgment. And he showed us how to deal with our children. Number one is to listen, to hear, to acknowledge, to teach them to speak, to teach them to listen, to teach them to understand. But if us, we are requesting from them, we are requesting from them to listen, and we don't listen to them. We are requesting from them to communicate with us, and we don't communicate with them. We are requesting from them to understand, and we don't understand them. So, where is the fair part or the right equation that ourselves in our daily life we are practicing with our children, and our children that are disobedient? So, the reality that we ourselves we're not practicing the right type of communication and intercommunication with our own children. Because let me tell you this, the moment the Muslim in the world they will get back to the right fashion that the Prophet ﷺ left behind him for us to follow, the moment we're gonna start to be successful as communities. Because the manners are the number one lifestyle that it will help the communities to be successful. Because once you follow these manners that are part of our religion as a Muslim and as part of our belief system, we're gonna start to be able to disregard our demons. In that way, we decrease the problems that is created between ourselves, between us, between our children, between our siblings, between our parents, between us and the community, between us and our neighbor, Muslim, non Muslim, does not matter. So, because we are lacking for this type of personality, for this type of manners, and we only word them in our mouth and we only use them nowadays to prove other people they're wrong, and none of us is practically using it to apply it in his daily life, so he will be benefiting himself and other by him practicing it, and other people they will just try to see it, and because everybody knows these manners. So the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us to have compassion towards our children. And the Prophet ﷺ, he was in the middle of a community that if you kiss a children or show compassion to children, that was something so big. It's kind of like you are decreasing from your man perspective, from your manhood, from your mm, respect. So they consider this is something lenient and too much of sweet from the man to show towards children. The Prophet ﷺ, for him to be an example, he was first and foremost practicing this in front of the Sahaba, in front of all the believers and the non believers, to show them how you could show as a human being compassion towards not only children, because we have a plenty of stories about the Prophet ﷺ toward children, how he used even to his grandkids, how he used to go hug them, kiss them, caress their heads, caress their shoulders. So, but the Prophet ﷺ, he took this beyond this. He took it to the animal, and beyond this, he took it to the even the things that us ourselves nowadays as a human being, we might consider the piece of wood is a thing. And the Prophet ﷺ, we all know about this whenever they create for him a new mimbar, a new podium, that the old podium that was practically made out a piece of wood tree. Then when he went to that podium and he started to the new one, and he started giving the khutbah, all the Sahaba they heard the big noise coming out from that old podium. It was just piece of wood. So the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he left his podium and he went and he hugged the tree and he spoke with it. And then he told the Sahaba that if he didn't do though, he will never, as a piece of food will never come down till the day of judgment. So, this type of compassion, first and foremost, we have to have some of it. Okay? First towards ourselves, then towards our wife, then towards our kids, because nothing will be working without this. Second, and the most important part, the Prophet ﷺ taught us to listen, taught the Sahaba to listen even to the hypocrite people, that everybody knew that these people, they were hypocrite. Even at that moment, the Prophet ﷺ commanded the Sahaba to listen. So our problem nowadays, we don't listen. We don't know how to listen. So the second key of success after having compassion, which is love and care, is to listen. Because our children, there's too much in their brain that are processing, and there's too much in their brain that it's going on, because they're trying to learn everything at the same time, at the same moment, and everything is laid out in front of them, from technology, from everything, from TV show, from any type of things that it will lead the brain to be working to the maximum. So for that matter, a lot of the time you're gonna see a tantrum. You're gonna see them just crying to cry. And even if you were having the patience enough, if you ask, you might receive. I received this answer from one of my daughters. She said, I know I can't stop crying and screaming. I said, but this is wrong. I'm speaking simple, and she's answering back loud. And at the end, she understood. So I started telling her to breathe, and start telling her to change her thoughts, to think about something else, to look around. I tried to help her. It just kind of like she almost get to be a little bit out of control, because her brain is functioning and processing too much of information, data getting inside her system on a daily basis. So without the compassion that is gonna lead for patience, and for us to know how to listen to our children, we're not gonna be gaining any point from the beginning. You need to gain their respect by you respecting them. Whether a father or a mother, you're not gonna gain the respect of your children if you're not gonna know how to listen to them. Because no matter whatever you have, these are children. They don't have your responsibilities, they have their own responsibilities. The children responsibilities is to learn, is to apply, is to ask, is to understand. So all this is gonna encounter for them to come and ask you randomly, anytime, any moment, any second, for whatever is something silly you think, or something does make no sense for you. They're gonna come and then ask you questions that make no sense for you, but is gonna make too much of sense for them. And the moment that you're gonna answer them by yelling or screaming, you lost your exposure. You lost your position in their heart. You lost your position inside them, and a lot of the time you're practically destroying their personality, making out of them a dumb person, which is they're not trying to, but you as a person, by you not having the compassion, by you not having the understanding, by you not having the listening, you're going to destroy this. And slow by slow, a time after a time, every time they're gonna come ask you a question, and you answer back in that way by shutting them off, or yelling at them, or screaming at them, or whatever is the case, you are practically misleading them and misleading their personality. And do not afterwards cry out yourself when they are growing up that, oh, my kids does not listen to me, my kids does not take my advice, my kids. You were supposed to be careful about the moment of whenever they were supposed to be raised. This is where you're supposed to be also looking at. When the foundation, this is the time of the foundation. Everything start with the pillars. We as a Muslim, we believe, even the ulama, they say, if the pillars of faith and pillars of Islam, if these pillars are intact, your religion is intact. because these supposed to be reflecting to your action. But once you understand them, does mean the action is gonna be perfect, and then the practice is gonna keep them perfect. So what we're doing right now, we are forgetting that the foundation of the personality is when they are young and kids, and how we supposed to be dealing with them. Because the way that how you're gonna deal with them, the way they're gonna answer back to you, they're gonna deal with you the same. So do not be so confused why this is happening. You didn't, because simply as is. You didn't took care of the moment that where you supposed to be listening to them. But listen up, nothing is too late. Because we are a human being, we know how to forgive. So our kids, all what they want from us, it's the compassion. Whatever is destroyed, do you think in yourself, you have to be compassion, and you have to be the person that is able to forgive his kids and give them push forward and show them that you are the support for them in their life, no matter what. This is what you're supposed to understand. And you suppose as a Muslim all the time to be the reference that is gonna guide them or help them to be guided to the right path. All the time, and big part of it when our kids ended up to be passing puberty and we messed up with them when they were young, we have to have more patience about it. Because if we're gonna have less patience about it, we're practically committing a crime right now. Because right now you are pushing them to be running away from you totally. And if they run away from you totally, it's your problem. It's none of any person problem. Do not tomorrow tell me it's the friends. Do not tomorrow tell me it's the husband. Do not tomorrow tell me it's the wife. It's you. It's yourself that you make out of that person a weak person towards you. Does mean in another meaning what I want to write to say that he cannot trust you because anything you took against the children. Let's go back to the children before we pass to the other stages, to the toddler. So the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he explained to us by practice how to do that. And he showed us and he said these manners. So all what I'm urging every one of us to remember himself the moment that he's speaking with that child, whether that child is asking, crying, sobbing, closed, his mind is closed, he's not listening. Remember that these kids, we didn't request anything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them our children the way that they are. All what we were a canal, we were a cause for these human beings to be alive and to have this relationship and this emotion towards them and to raise them and to have responsibility towards them. That's why they're going to have another responsibility towards us the moment where we get old and we need help. Other way, they are a trust, and we have to take care of them and to take care of their needs and raise them by showing them the love, by covering them with compassion, by teaching them the understanding, by us understanding them, by knowing how to listen to them, and by teaching them in that way to listen to us and to share the life to a certain level of age. And then after that, they're going to leave because they have to find their life path, because each one of us, they're going to have their specific pathway it does not mean it's gonna be connected to anyone, to us as a parents pathway. So we're going to have our journey. They're going to have their own journey. We're gonna be responsible about our own journey, and they're gonna be responsible about their own journey. We might be sharing part of this journey together, because part of my journey raising them, and parts of their journey maybe taking care of us. It does not matter the way, does not matter the how to. So this is what it is, the reality that there are a trust. We have to take care of this trust to a certain age, and then they're going to be free to do whatever they're supposed to be doing. So the moment we have to be understanding whenever we have a children, that it's our business to help this foundation to be right. It's just a trust. We have to be careful about that. Again, the keys of success to raise our children are simple. First, to have compassion, love, that is going to lead for understanding and patience. Second, to listen to them, which is going to lead also for understanding, and then to understand them in a way to have understanding their personality, because none of our kids, they're going to have the same type of personality as we going to have. We're going to speak about that in a different episode, in a different session, because we have to understand why there's gonna be differences between us and our children, and might be some similarity. The more you have more compassion towards your kids, this is just a hint, the more they're going to be carrying some of your personality, because based on this compassion, they're gonna try to idolizing your personality inside their personalities, and they're gonna adopt it. That's why, if we want our children to be raised respectfully and to respect us, we have first to respect them, and to raise them in the right manner, and to raise them with full love and care, and not to disregard them for a job, and not disregard them because of a fight, not to disregard them for anything, because they don't have nothing to do with our problems in our life. They didn't ask us, also themselves, or I want to be your children, or I want to be your child, or I want to be, your daughter, I want to be your son, and I want to be like that, and I want to be like this. That's why we have to be careful about our action, about our reaction with our own children, because they are an amana, they are a trust, and we are responsible of that, because these kids are part of our journey and our foundation that we built in them. It might be the reason for us to gaining more rewards even after our death. Jazakumullah khairan. I wish that video was clear enough. If you have any question, put them in the comment. Inshallah, we will be answering you as soon as possible. Jazakumullah khair. Have a good night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.